The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Earnestly podcast.
Don't leave your house just because
I'm actually on the road. I apologize. Music in the background. How you guys doing? Happy Monday to everybody here on the show. We're going solo today. Maybe a quick podcast, maybe not. I need to get this all in 20 minutes because I'm actually on the way to pick up my son from school. Hopefully he had a good day in school. We've been having some challenges with him in school lately, but hopefully we are on the right track again. I had to make some executive decisions in terms of, limiting some of the things he enjoys because, just things were not going the right direction for him. But hopefully now we should be okay now going forward. But there's a lot of things I want to talk about today in the podcast. This will probably take about 20 minutes. All-Star breaks here. Let's get to that first. The All-Star breaks here at the NBA. All-Star game just passed yesterday. I didn't watch a single minute of anything related to the All-Star game this weekend. And I just realized today that I haven't watched an All-Star game in its entirety probably in about 5 years. And I was a guy that way back when, as a kid, growing up as a kid, I said it twice, as a kid growing up, I used to love the All-Star game. I used to love All-Star Saturday night. I used to love all the festivities around the game, everything, even the celebrity games I used to watch, because it's fun. As I've gotten older, I've really not really given a crap about it. The product's kind of watered down now. I don't like the fact they have now teams. They intermingle the conferences now. I rather East to West. I've said in the past already. I am a traditionalist. I prefer East versus West. I prefer more standard, way of doing things. And to me, they've taken away from that. I get why they're doing it to spice up a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's an exhibition, and you can't. This is what's the problem with the Pro Bowl too. There's nothing to fix with the Pro Bowl or the All-Star game or the Major League Baseball All-Star game. It is what it is. Just leave it alone. I mean, you're going to get ratings no matter what. You shouldn't expect to get more than you need to or more than you should on the All-Star game because I don't think it's necessary to have top-tier ratings for All-Star. I think the All-Star game gets enough ratings to where it's justified enough. Same in the Pro Bowl. So I don't know why these leagues feel the need to cram it down our throats. You can't fix the situation. It's an exhibition. We know going in that we're not trying to get guys hurt. We know going in they're not going to play top-tier defense. They're not going to care till the last come into the game. I don't know why these leagues feel like they have to fix it. Nothing to fix about it. It is what it is. There was a market for that. There are people who do like the All-Star game, who do appreciate the All-Star game, and I'm, hey, by all means, take it up. I'm cool with that. I'm not one of them. I'm not saying I hate the All-Star game. I just don't put time into it. In other words, I'm not going to go on my way to watch it. Last night I was tired. I took my kids out to my mom's for the day, and then we came home and put the kids to sleep. And I just passed out. In fact, I feel bad because I actually had a podcast scheduled with our good friend Kyle Nash, student of the game, to do another student game report that we had planned to do last night to record, and I passed out literally at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and did not wake up until my wife got from work at 1 a.m. Like, holy crap, I got a podcast to do. Wait, I can't. It's 1 a.m. and she's home from work now. Like, oh crap, it's not going to work. So, I just decided, it's one of those things where if it's on in the background and I don't have anything to distract me, I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to go out of my way to watch the Pro Bowl or the NBA All-Star game or the baseball All-Star game. And I've got more curmudgeon through the years now, so I think the All-Star break now I take as a break anyway from sports and just kind of like get myself in order, get things in order, and use that at the time to watch shows I'm behind on all that. So I don't necessarily try to force the issue there. So the All-Star game is what it is. It is what it is. Colin Kaepernick settled his lawsuit against the NFL last week. Rumor is that he is made out between $60 and $80 million. There's a lot of people on both sides of the fence about whether they're pissed or they're not pissed about him settling. I honestly don't care. I really don't care. I had my stance on Kaepernick as it is for a while. He's somebody that, as through the process, has learned. I've also been critical in times too. In other words, with Kaepernick not being able to, I wish that he would speak up more publicly instead of having third party persons, or anyone from a third party for that matter, speak for him, whether it's his girlfriend Nessa or somebody that's connected to Kaepernick in general. I rather him speak up, and if he has issues with anything, you speak up. I'd rather hear your voice. The things he's standing up for, I agree with. Obviously there is something to be said about inequality and police brutality and all that. Do I think it's happening in record numbers? No. I think I will still say that we are better now as a country, even with the Trump shit. We're still better as a country today than we were 40 years ago. And if you think differently about that, ask your grandparents. They'll tell you that is the fact. That's a fact. But whether or not Kaepernick will come back to the... I mean, look, people think now that by the NFL settling with Kaepernick that it leads credence to believe that the NFL was definitely colluding, and I don't think anybody ever really doubted they were colluding to some degree. And again, $68 million for them, not a lot of money really. If you think about it, they make this league makes $10 million a year. This is a drop in the bucket for them, to be honest with you. So, it is good for him for making his money. Like I said, I've in the Kaepernick thing, I've gone on both sides in some degree. My biggest criticism of Kaepernick is more so speak up. I wish he would would dictate more of the process here. And maybe he's not sophisticated enough to talk about some of these things, and his mind doesn't speak up. I guess the comfort level of whatnot. But I don't know. But I'm glad we can put the saga behind us, and hopefully he's still does activism. Hopefully that he gets his payday finally, whatever. But hopefully there's still activism going on with him and on things that actually do matter. Not saying the stuff he's activating for or being out there and protesting doesn't matter, because it does matter. But hopefully he continues to do that moving forward. But I don't think he'll play in the NFL again. I saw a report today about his lawyers saying he thinks that the Panthers and the Patriots will pick him up. This guy's been playing 3 years. I mean, let's not forget that. If you go to the brick and mortar of football, he hasn't played in 3 years. So I don't see that happening. So, but maybe the AF, I don't know. He said the rumors that they approached him about coming to the AF, and he said no. So I don't know. We'll see. The Antonio Brown drama is picking up. As of last Friday, the last thing I heard, he requested a trade from the Steelers. It's going to be hard, though, because the Steelers, if they get rid of him, based on their structure of the contract, they're going to be stuck with $21 million cap hit on their salary cap. But I still think if you can make it work, just get rid of him, because at this point, if you're trying to compete for Super Bowl next year in the AFC, that's kind of wide open outside of the Patriots and the Chiefs and maybe the Colts. You still got Big Ben, who's still pretty good for most of the year. You got to do what's right for your team. I mean, if this Antonio Brown saga is not fixable, you got to do what's best for your team. And if it means trading him for the sake of your locker room, because now you have Brown, sort of like passive aggressively calling out Big Ben Roethlisberger on Twitter, liking tweets about him, getting off on rape charges and whatnot. You have to consider moving on. It's now a distraction now. We're only in February. This could still escalate into March, into April, into May and June. So, from the Steelers, you have to figure out a way. I mean, $20 million is a lot of money, but it might be worth it if you want to compete for a Super Bowl next year. And this could be a distraction moving forward. And obviously we've seen this team that's not buttoned up at all in the last couple of years. Whether it's Le'Veon Bell situation last year, whether it's anything, Mike Tomlin and how he handles the team, and now this Antonio Brown situation. It's clear that this team is pretty sensitive to a point where it affects the play on the field, which I can argue is why they made the playoffs this year. The team is telling them they are. Not missed the playoffs last year. That's ridiculous. So you got to consider, cutting bait with Antonio Brown. Okay, what else I don't still want to talk about before I go. the Jussie Smollett, I think Smollett, Empire star who last year alleged that he was beaten and then thrown bleach on by two people who were supposedly Trump supporters who said they, MAGA, pro MAGA, whatever. Now this investigation is now it looks like it's turned for the worse for him, because the reports have for the last week, and now it's coming to pretty much fruition that he may have actually staged this whole thing. And it looks bad, obviously. Everybody across the board looks bad. Obviously people on the right, especially too, are pissed. And obviously they use this as a way to push their agenda. People on the left are pissed off because they feel like their agenda is now being stunted because of this situation. And I go back to the simple situation. And by the way, I myself was fishy about this whole thing from the beginning. Even my brother, who called it out, my brother Eric called it out, said that, wait, don't take this face value. And I posted on social media this weekend. This is the example of people, and this is why groupthink is dangerous in this country, in this world. This is why having a mob mentality is dangerous, because just because someone says something and people agree and everybody agrees, and all the Me Too folks, by the way, jump on this thing. Oh, Jussie, we're sorry what happened to you. And, doesn't mean it's true. It's true. This is what I always say. Let the investigators investigate, and before we come to conclusion. And now they're investigating, and they're not done yet, but all signs now point to him staging this thing. And now apparently it's gone to a grand jury. It's possible that he may get jailed for this and may face prison time. And honestly, if this is what happened, if he staged this, yes, he has to go to jail. No doubt about that. You can't have manpower being, police manpower being used up for stuff that is fake, that could otherwise gone somewhere else. I'm left once again ask myself, what's the motivation for him to fake this? Why would he? I'm not saying he didn't, although everything looks like pointing to the fact that he did. But why would he do it in the first place? I'm still a bit lost on that one. Why would he stage this? Doesn't make any sense. I heard that he was planning to be written off the show, Empire, and that he wanted to do something to maybe influence some. I don't know. I just don't understand why he would stage this. It makes no sense to me at all. So what we'll keep hearing updates, of course. As I said, there's been a grand jury put together now for this thing, and who knows, he could face some charges here, probably, most likely. We'll see. Today, Netflix announced that they completed their entire Marvel clean out, as they announced today that both Daredevil and Jessica Jones have now been canceled on the Netflix platform. People are pissed off about it, of course, because me included, of course, to some degree, except the fact that I don't believe that these shows are done. These shows will have a home. I think these shows will be on the new Disney service, which there hasn't been an official date for when it will come out, but if the rumors are true, maybe 2020, maybe later this year, the new Disney service will exist, and I think these shows will continue on those platforms. So people are pissed off in right now in the short term, but I believe that these shows will find a home on a Disney streaming service that will come out at some point in the next year or two. Maybe 3 years, I don't know. Maybe I've been hearing about this for the last couple of years, for the last 6-7 years. But I think now with this stuff coming, this latest series being announced to be off the Netflix platform, which, by the way, it's not, this wouldn't happen if you didn't think that the other platform was on the way now, because these shows aren't being cut because they're not successful. They are successful. The Daredevil is very successful. The numbers, they never said themselves, the numbers are good. This is that. I think this is going to happen to the point now where Netflix is going to, not Netflix, Disney's going to have these shows on their platform moving forward. So I'm looking forward to that. So, that's my prediction, of course. I mean, nothing's official yet, but that's what I think is going to happen in the next year or two. So let's keep looking out for that. All right. Finally, I've been spending the last couple of days, listening to my old radio show from years back, from 2013, 12, 13, 14, and beginning of most 15. And I I just realized recently how much I missed the radio show. It was so much fun doing the radio show. Music interludes, and this more. It was live. The show was live, obviously, being a radio, internet radio, but it's still radio, and whatnot. And I missed the show, man. I've actually considered bringing the show back, in a podcast form, but I don't know if it's possible right now because of my schedule with the family. Like I said, we made adjustments recently with this show, combining both the Unfiltered podcast and this show into one. If I do a solo pod like I'm doing now, I'll just do it on this platform, and that's just that. And I'll do my interviews in my podcast I've been doing already for the last year with the relaunch of the show. But it has actually. I have floated the idea of maybe bringing back the radio show, but as a podcast platform. So it'll be, I was thinking about if I do Earnestly the show, with the interludes and once a week and strictly sports, it could work out. I just don't know if it's feasible right at this time, because of time constraints, and I don't want to take away from this show to do that show, and what I can do and what will be different to what I'm doing now versus what I can do on that platform. I guess the format will be a little bit different, of course, but again, for me to do that show, it will take editing, of course. It takes time. A lot of the time of a show, especially this podcast, well, not this podcast, but even doing that show on the podcast platform will be the editing portion of it. The radio show was easy to do because I just pop into, we did on Blog Talk Radio back then, so we just log in, boom, boom, do the show, and that's it. No editing, nothing. It's just as is. And make sure I have all my stuff prepared, all my sound clips prepared, music prepared. Here, if I did this show on this platform, it'll be a little more labor of love on this one because it would take probably an additional half an hour, assuming I get that time to do it because of having the two kids, to do the show, to edit and all that. It would take time, a lot of time away from just things I could be doing. So I don't know. I don't know if it's still worth doing it just yet, but it's something I've been thinking about recently in the last couple of days, bringing it back on the podcast platform because the format is different. It's the segments, there's music interludes, there's obviously shorter interviews. I have guests, I have shorter interviews, and co-hosts, and that's the big thing also too. If I do the show, I have to have a co-host. Now I have some people committed to co-hosting the show. I was going to do maybe a rotating co-host platform, but I don't want to have to keep depending on people that come on the show every single week, just to make it happen. At least with this show, whoever's on the show is a guest. I'm interviewing them to some degree or having a conversation with them. So, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it right now. I was initially going to push for it as early as yesterday, but then I was thinking, wait, let me give some more thought. Let's see if it makes more sense. And right now, I'm kind of on the fence. So, but if I do decide to go this route in the future, I obviously will. You all know. All listeners here will know. So, anyway, that's it for today. We know what today we're not gonna do any theme music. We're just gonna go ahead and play some regular music on the show. So again, on Twitter, EJChristian7, Earnestly Media, Earnestly.net. Check out all the plans I've written last couple days, last week or so, and we'll come back until then. We'll talk soon. See ya. Love you guys. Bye.